Ghana. This West African nation boasts a tapestry woven from ancient empires, colonial struggles, and the triumphant spirit of independence. From the bustling markets of Accra to the serene shores of Lake Volta, Ghana pulsates with life, a testament to its resilient people and their captivating story. Picture bustling trade routes laden with gold, salt, and cola nuts, connecting this corner of Africa to the wider world. This is the legacy of Ghana, a land that has witnessed the rise and fall of kingdoms, the resilience of its people, and the birth of a nation. It's a story of a nation that has risen from the ashes of colonialism to embrace democracy and progress. Join us now as we delve into the fascinating history of Ghana, from its ancient empires to its modern-day triumphs. Long before the arrival of Europeans, the ancient Ghana Empire flourished in the heart of West Africa. From the 8th to the 13th centuries, this empire, known as Ouagadougou to its people, commanded the trans-Saharan trade routes, accumulating vast wealth and influence. Gold, mined in abundance within the empire's borders, flowed north across the Sahara, traded for salt, textiles, and other valuable commodities. The rulers of ancient Ghana, known as Ghana or war chief, held immense power, commanding a formidable army and presiding over a sophisticated court. They controlled the gold trade, levying taxes on merchants and ensuring the smooth flow of goods through their territory. However, even the mightiest empires can crumble. By the 11th century, the Ghana Empire faced increasing pressure from the rising Almoravid dynasty to the north, leading to its decline in the 13th century. From the ashes of the Ghana Empire, a new power emerged in West Africa, the Mali Empire. Founded by Sundiata Keita in the 13th century, the Mali Empire quickly expanded its territory, encompassing much of the former Ghana Empire and beyond. The empire's wealth, like its predecessor, was built on control of the trans-Saharan trade routes, with gold, salt, and slaves remaining key commodities. The Mali Empire reached its zenith under the reign of Mansa Musa, Sundiata's grandnephew. Mansa Musa's legendary pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 showcased the empire's immense wealth and power to the world. He established Timbuktu as a renowned center of learning, attracting scholars and students from across the Muslim world. The Mali Empire's legacy extended far beyond its economic might. It left an indelible mark on the cultural and intellectual landscape of the region. As the Mali Empire waned in the 16th century, a new power arose in the forest region of what is now modern-day Ghana, the Ashanti Empire. The Ashanti, an Akan people, forged a powerful and centralized kingdom through military prowess and a strong sense of unity. Central to their beliefs was the Golden Stool, a sacred object that came to symbolize the Ashanti nation's soul and unity. The Ashanti controlled access to gold-producing regions and actively traded with European powers who had established coastal trading posts in the 15th century. Gold, ivory, and slaves became major exports, exchanged for firearms, textiles, and other manufactured goods. The Ashanti were fierce warriors and skilled strategists. Their military power was based on a well-organized army, disciplined soldiers, and effective use of firearms acquired through trade. The Ashanti Empire's military prowess and centralized rule made it a formidable force in West Africa for centuries. The arrival of Europeans on the shores of West Africa in the 15th century marked a turning point in the region's history. Initially, interactions were primarily focused on trade, with European powers establishing coastal forts to facilitate the exchange of goods. However, as European demand for slaves grew to fuel the transatlantic slave trade, the dynamics of the relationship shifted dramatically. The British, among other European powers, exploited rivalries between African kingdoms, pitting them against each other to facilitate the capture and trade of slaves. The Ashanti Empire, despite its military strength, found itself increasingly drawn into conflicts fueled by the slave trade. By the mid-19th century, tensions between the Ashanti Empire and the British had reached a boiling point. Despite their valiant efforts, the Ashanti Empire eventually succumbed to British military superiority and was formally annexed as a British colony in 1901. As colonialism tightened across Africa in the early 20th century, new leaders emerged, determined to break free from foreign rule. Among them was Kwame Nkrumah, a visionary leader in Ghana's struggle for independence. Born in 1909 in Nkroful, present-day Ghana, Nkrumah studied locally and abroad, including at Lincoln University and the University of Pennsylvania. In 1947, he returned to the Gold Coast, joining the United Gold Coast Convention, or UGCC. Nkrumah's radical approach led him to form the Convention People's Party, or CPP, in 1949. The CPP quickly gained mass support, especially among the working class and farmers, who resonated with his message of self-government now. Nkrumah's charisma and commitment made him a formidable force in Gold Coast politics. The road to independence was paved with both peaceful protests and moments of intense struggle. Nkrumah, recognizing the power of mass mobilization, organized rallies, strikes and boycotts, galvanizing the Gold Coast's population to demand an end to colonial rule. The British authorities, facing mounting pressure from both within the Gold Coast and on the international stage, gradually began to relinquish control. In 1951, the Gold Coast held its first general election under a new constitution that granted limited self-government. The CPP, led by Nkrumah, won a resounding victory, demonstrating the overwhelming popular support for independence. Finally, on March 6, 1957, the Gold Coast achieved its long-awaited independence, becoming the first sub-Saharan African nation to break free from colonial rule. The newly independent nation was renamed Ghana in honor of the ancient West African Empire, and Kwame Nkrumah became its first prime minister, later assuming the presidency in 1960. The euphoria of independence was tempered by the immense challenges facing the newly born nation. Ghana, like many other African countries emerging from colonialism, inherited a legacy of economic dependence, underdeveloped infrastructure, and social inequalities. Nkrumah, driven by a vision of a united and prosperous Africa, embarked on an ambitious program of industrialization, modernization, and social reform. He invested heavily in education, healthcare, and infrastructure, building schools, hospitals, and roads to improve the lives of ordinary Ghanaians. The Akosombo Dam, a massive hydroelectric project on the Volta River, became a symbol of Ghana's post-independence development aspirations, providing much-needed electricity to power homes and industry. However, Nkrumah's ambitious plans came at a cost. The government's heavy spending on industrial projects and social programs led to mounting debt, while a decline in cocoa prices, Ghana's main export, further strained the economy. In 1966, while Nkrumah was on a state visit to China, a military coup d'état overthrew his government, marking a period of political instability and military rule. The following 2 decades witnessed a series of military coups and short-lived civilian governments. Economic progress remained elusive, with corruption and mismanagement. In the late 1970s, a glimmer of hope emerged with the rise of Jerry Rawlings, a young Air Force officer who seized power in a coup d'état in 1979. Rawlings promised to root out corruption and restore economic prosperity. In 1992, after more than a decade of military rule, Rawlings transitioned Ghana back to multi-party democracy. Since its return to democracy in 1992, Ghana has emerged as a beacon of hope and progress in West Africa. The country has experienced consistent economic growth fueled by a thriving cocoa industry, gold exports, and more recently, oil production. Ghana's commitment to democratic principles, good governance, and the rule of law has earned it international acclaim, attracting foreign investment and fostering a stable political environment. Ghana's peaceful transitions of power between different political parties through free and fair elections stand as a testament to its democratic maturity. The country has made significant strides in improving access to education, healthcare, and other essential services, contributing to a steady rise in living standards. Today, Ghana stands as a shining example of resilience, democracy, and progress in Africa. Its rich cultural heritage, vibrant art scene, and warm hospitality continue to captivate visitors from around the world.